Hello, welcome to WWF Raw from the years 96 through 2001. Well, I'm going to start to do, because I was doing this for WCW Nitro, so what I'm going to start to do is, within about 45 minutes, try to talk about two different years. But I should probably go to 1997 if I'm gonna do it this way. And try to do as much of the beginning of the year that I can. Which I already started watching the first Raw of that year. So the first Raw of 97, first match of that night was Mankind versus Owen Hart. It was very interesting that time era because this was a time that nobody could have predicted. Nostradamus couldn't have even predicted this happening. You had somebody talk about people who love professional wrestling. Nobody who had watched, going all the way back to people who know the history of when it all began, I'm sure nobody could have predicted this. And then we're even talking about, after seeing characters like Gorgeous George and there were two different Adrian characters. Adrian Street and Adrian Adonis. Even after seeing those characters, I don't think anybody could have predicted a character like Goldust or a character like Mankind, or even the gothic look of The Undertaker. So, the fact that characters that actually made The Undertaker look normal, the fact that was becoming more normal in the Attitude Era is really is really the part I'm talking about when I say that it was an unheard of time. Especially with Mankind, because he had the strangest finisher ever. And I'm not just saying that. One half of the current Raw Tag Team Champions, Kurt Hawkins, even said how it was unusual to see when he saw it as a fan. When he first saw Mankind and he saw how the Mandible Claw was a finisher, let alone a maneuver, he couldn't get over that. And I still don't know what the reason for that was, but he was supposed to be deranged. And every time he would cut a promo on himself, before he even made his debut, he always looked like he was disturbed. So it was a perfect maneuver to use. And for him to go against Owen Hart, who was extremely underrated himself because his own brother Brett said that when you look at their match against each other at WrestleMania 10, you would see how great of a wrestler he really was, because he knew every trick in the book. And even though you're not supposed to break rules, in the case of being fair about it, that does take a lot of knowledge and a lot of ability, because look at, for instance, Ric Flair. He did not know how to defend himself in the ring, quote, defend himself when he was in trouble. That's why anytime he was in trouble, he would always rake the eyes. Or do the Three Stooges routine, where he'd put his finger, make it look like he hit somebody in the eye with his finger. Because he couldn't think of any maneuvers to use. So, yeah. So it shows how it's equally as important to know how to be a good villain as it is to be a good wrestler, because a lot of great wrestlers can struggle with thinking of ways of getting out of problems. Anyway, the fact that he was going against Owen Hart, I know that had to be challenging for Owen Hart, because he had to find a way to work with the strange aspects of the character. It didn't take long for Mankind to go for his finisher, but Owen Hart always knew how to get out of things like that, and it's really a true testament to how good he was in the ring. Ooh. Because this was the Attitude Era, or slowly becoming the Attitude Era, when he hit Owen Hart, I just saw him hit Mankind with the tag team title, and he got festive instead of disqualified, and I think that's because of the era they were in. Yeah, I think eventually, yeah. The mandible claw was put in, but it didn't stay. He moved it along. So, let's see. Thrown through the middle ropes into the steel post. Let's see. The pullback pile driver. 1, 2, 3. Mankind wins. They have Jose Lothario with Shawn Michaels, and Jose Santos with him in this episode. They were talking about Psycho Sid, and he said how when Bret Hart goes against The Undertaker, he wouldn't miss doing commentary for that for the world. They showed the night before, 2 nights before that, Shotgun Saturday Night was in a Mirage nightclub. Nation of Domination, and showing they actually had, it looked like Crush was a part of them for the night, and he was about to lose until D'Lo Brown got involved. In a suit, no less, looked like a tuxedo. Gets when the Spinebuster right there, and Crush hit Ahmed Johnson with the steel chair. Goldust came through the back. I don't know what was going on. Oh yeah, I think D'Lo got, I think it's called the Pearl City Plunge, but really it's a butterfly suplex on top of a car. Some people with flying nun's cap on were walking outside. Oh, there was a tag team. When it gets the Godwins, but they were dressed like nuns, and by the way, male nuns, by the way, and they happened to be Brother Love's team. If it wasn't for Brother Love, they wouldn't have won the match. Let's see. Looks like they're coming out right here. Oh no. Somebody's coming out, but it's not them. Fake Diesel and Fake Razor against, I'm not sure what they're called. It's very amazing how they didn't have, okay, Razor didn't look exactly like the original Razor, but he came reasonably close to looking like him, so that's why they used them. I know I had just spoken about what WCW Nitro did in 97, so that's why I don't feel bad doing this. Doug Furnace, Philip something. I have to say, though, when it was full-blown Attitude, it's not something I feel bad about not seeing, but it did look like it was closer to cutting edge like Nitro was. Just that a few segments needed to not be done. Philip LaFon and Doug Furnace were their opponents. Even though Fake Diesel was was used as a parody, or I don't even know if you could call it a parody, was used to pretend to be the original character so that they take the attention off of Hall and Nash in WCW. Even though that wasn't what we call great, I'm sure Glenn Jacobs, who portrayed the Fake Diesel, I'm sure he loved doing this because he had to stop being that dentist for Jerry Lawler. I'm sure he preferred doing this anyway because of how cool Diesel was. Going for a version of the Doomsday device. Really, it looked more like top rope version of the Heart Attack. 1, 2, 3, they beat Diesel, Fake Diesel, and Fake Ramon. I really feel bad. I don't feel bad for Glenn Jacobs being Fake Diesel. What I feel bad for was they looked like a joke because they're meant to be impersonators instead of the real deal. That's what I feel sorry for. What's amazing to me about this, is how the beginning of 97, at this time, Goldust and Ernest Helmsley, their storyline was coming to where, they were about to go against each other at the Royal Rumble, and I think that was around the time when Goldust stopped looking so